Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lay. For those of you who are new, welcome. Today's video is going to be super exciting because today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on the new Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation by NYX collaborating with Alyssa Ashley. Love her. She's actually one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. I love it when YouTubers stay humble and stay focused on whatever their cause may be and they don't stray away from that too much, which is really nice to see when, watching YouTube. So for today, I'm using the shade Warm Caramel. This is not my summer shade, but I still kind of have a tan, so that's kind of why it looks a little lighter than my body, but it's cool. Everything kind of came together. It works out to me. I think it looks good. It looks really good in person. I think the harshness of the light is kind of making it look really light on camera, but don't worry, I will have my check-ins and one of them is going to be outside. I just finished my entire makeup. It is currently 1:08 p.m. and I'm about to go and walk the dog, come home, and just pretty much do nothing. I have homework and stuff like that and a couple of blog posts that I need to work on, so I'm really not going to be too much into the elements, but I am going to be outside a little bit. What do you guys think of my hair? This is a new protective style for me. I tried to do my hair and it thunderstormed on it, and then it just wouldn't come back out nice again, and I refuse to go back and do that whole spiel again. So I really don't have much to say about it. So far, I like the finish of the foundation. I like the way it looks. I am a huge fan of matte foundations. If you guys have been following me for a while, which you should, you'll know that I am a huge fan of the L'Oreal Pro Matte, the Fenty Beauty foundation, and the Estee Lauder Double Wear. 3 foundations that are super matte and my jam. So if this is another drugstore matte, then I have the perfect roundup. Without further ado, I don't want to hold you up. Let's get into the tutorial, but before we do, please make sure that you give me a thumbs up if you enjoy videos like this. Hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I do an upload. So without further ado, drum roll please, let's get right into the tutorial. Hey. Okay guys, so to start off, I already primed my face. Since this is a matte foundation, I'm going to use a very hydrating primer. This is the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. This is replenishing face primer with coconut water, probiotic based ingredients, and skin revivers. So this is actually one of my favorite primers to date. I've repurchased this time and time again. So for hydration, that's what I used. And since I do also get very oily around this area and I don't want that to affect the consistency of the foundation, I'm going to use the Black Radiance True Complexion. This is the Shine Control Primer, and I use this in the center of my face to kind of help keep my oils at bay. So for foundation, we're going in with the NYX Professional Makeup Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. This is in collaboration with Alyssa Ashley, and I got the color Warm Caramel. Warm Caramel is actually more so of my winter shade. I'm gonna swatch it really quick on the side of my face so you can see what I'm talking about, because I don't want you all to think that I'm trying to manipulate it or anything. So you'll see right here, it's a little light even when I blend it out. It blends out nicely, but it does kind of have that that overcast of lightness. So what I am going to do is I am going to add a little bit of my NYX foundation warmer. You guys have seen me use it time and time again. I tend to like to do that with foundations that are for my winter skin tone and I want to wear it in the summer. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of drops of that and we'll get right into the application. So before you all get on me, this is just a foundation warmer. It doesn't change the consistency or the formulation. So I just use that because I don't like to buy 2 foundations, one that's dark and one that's light. This just helps me keep my lighter foundations on through the summer. So right here, I'm just setting my primer with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. This really helps prevent foundation from settling in any creased area, and it helps keep all of the areas that I usually have excess oil matte. So now I'm using a Luxie 530 brush. This is the flat top kabuki brush, and I'm pressing the foundation into my skin. I feel that pressing it prevents you from getting those streaky marks, and it really helps the foundation to seep into your skin, making it look a little more skin-like as opposed to having something that sits right on top of the skin. So right here you can see warming it up really helped a lot. My forehead is usually my darkest area, of course, because that is the area that the sun hits first. So right here it is going to look kind of light because, as you can see, without makeup, my forehead is a lot darker than like the center of my face. But I fix all of that using bronzer, so this just helps to cover everything, and when I use bronzer, it just helps to bring the dimension back into my face. So again, stippling motions. I'm sweeping it really lightly without pressure so that I can move the product into the areas that I want to have them. And right here, I really liked the coverage of the foundation. So you can see it's pretty full coverage. My moles are still peeking through, so I think that's what helps it look more skin-like. And as you can see over here, the only discoloration is where the powder is. But other than that, I liked the way it looked. So now on this side, I'm using my beauty blender. This is the black beauty blender, nothing special. This is the regular beauty blender by the company. So I'm just placing that product on my face with my finger, and then I'm going to take the beauty blender and pat it in. The reason I use my finger is because I feel like if I pick up the product with the beauty blender, it soaks up some of the product. And you can say what you want, but I don't like to waste any product. So that's what that side looks like, and I think overall they look almost identical. Yeah, having a little moment when I listen to my music. So for concealer, I'm using the Born This Way concealer. This is the multi-use full coverage concealer, and then I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blend that in. This is nothing special, which is why I sped through it. And to set all of that, I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 30, medium deep. Sorry, Callie is at the door and she's mad because I locked her out. So right here, I'm setting underneath my eyes very lightly, and I'm putting a little bit by my nose. And I like to press it all the way in with the beauty blender and then go back and bake in the areas that is needed. So right here, I like to bake next to my nose, around my mustache, my forehead, and my chin. Then I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to go in with the BH Cosmetics foundation powder and pretty much pat a little bit of that into the areas that are still kind of tacky. This step, sorry, brain fart. This step is not necessary, but for me, it just makes me feel better to set it. The only foundation that I never feel necessary to set is the Maybelline Fit Me. So right here, I'm having a little dance session. Now I'm going in with bronzer. This is the Marc Jacobs Tantric. I hate saying this word. It'll be at the bottom of the screen. But this is the Tantric bronzer, and I'm just using this to warm up my face and add that dimension back. See, I'm looking more like myself already. And I'm using this fluffy Mikasa brush to help blend my highlight into the bronzer. I like. Again, like, who else has a dance session? Leave it down in the comments. So for blush, I'm using the Luminoso by MILANI. This is a classic blush. I'm just using a little bit of that to help bring a little bit of warmth into my face. As you can see, my eye look is very warm. If you want details on that, please make sure to click on the card above so that you can watch this tutorial. So for highlight, I'm using the Matte Gold Deposit, and yeah, that's pretty much it for my face. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please check out my check-ins. Hey guys, so this is check-in number 1. I usually like to do 2 check-ins when I do these type of videos. So I finished my makeup at about 1 o'clock. I actually probably had my foundation on at about 12:30. It's now 3:12, so it's been about 2 hours since I've applied this foundation, and So far, I feel like my skin looks absolutely flawless. I am in the car with the kids, so please excuse all of the noise that they're making in the background. But anyways, so we're gonna zoom in. We're gonna get nice and close and up close and personal. So this is usually where I have smile line issues, but of course I set my primer like I normally would if I was wearing a full coverage foundation. So they're just not like this one right here. This, I think it held up better on this side than it did on this side. I seem to have that with everything. It is a little cakey on the sides of my nose. And right around here, it's actually looking really good in my opinion. What do you all think? Let's do the rest of my face. I think overall this foundation is holding up really well. It is definitely a matte finish, and like, I don't know if you guys can tell, like my face is looking really pale, but it looks like really dark around the perimeters. I think that might just be because this is more so of like a winter shade, not so much a summer shade, and I still kind of have like my tan going. So I'm gonna go ahead and go about my day, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go about my day, and I'll check in a couple of hours. So it is crazy in my household right now. So I wanted to do my final check-in. It is now 8:29, so approximately 8:30. Everybody's getting ready for bed, and I'm ready to take my face off. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So I just finished eating. This lipstick is a real MVP. Now I had a drink of Family Life. So these are my smile lines, and they're still pretty prominent from before. And mind you, I've been eating and everything throughout the day. Not a lot of wear by my chin. It actually stayed pretty good. This is a scab, and these are two pimples that I popped. So the foundation actually covered and stayed on that the whole day. I'm not that greasy, and mind you, I didn't blot like I thought I was going to. This is clearing up now, and sorry, I just had dinner. So this is clearing up, and it covered that pretty well, and I don't think that my skin looks too fake or like lumpy from the foundation. I think it did a pretty good job of covering my skin and, you know, staying on really well. Like, I think it looks really good for, you know, what it is. So I will give this foundation a 9 out of 10. So the chaos of my household has kicked me out of the bathroom, but I wanted to give my final thoughts before I take my lashes off, because then things, you know what, just, ooh. Taking your lashes off really like changes the entire dynamic of, whew. It's like taking your bra off at the end of the day. So I give this foundation a 9 out of 10. The only thing that I don't like about it is kind of drying. You do kind of have to manipulate your base. You do have to manipulate your base. So you can't just use any primer. You kind of have to use a primer that's hydrating. You know, it all depends on your skin. I have oily combo skin, so in the areas that I get oily, I did have to use a primer that was specifically either shine control or mattifying. I'm going to bed now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And remember, beauties, stay blessed. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.